all major cities have had problems with air quality, and London is no exception. This has been an issue for hundreds of years. There was an anecdote I remember hearing about Joseph Bazalgette introducing sycamore trees to the streets of London. Their barks shed, and it is thought that they absorbed soot and other things from the air. So since I've introduced a laser cutter or engraver into the workshop, I've just become a little bit more conscious that when I use it, I am producing fumes. The reality is, when you work with certain woods or you use solvents and paints, you are releasing volatile chemicals into the air. Now, a way to deal with that is by using plants. There was a clean air study done by NASA, and this has been repeated with a much larger range of plants, and that information is available online. I'm going to link to a couple of sources in the description just to give you a bit more information about that, and I'm going to use that tradition that has never seemed to work because of our addiction to fossil fuels in the confined space of my workshop. So I've got 3 different plants here. I've got spider plant, I've got red edge dracania, and I've got the ubiquitous peace lily. This is actually quite an amazing plant because on the checklist it seems to just tick every single box. So I'm just going to read out at least what's on this Wikipedia page that summarizes the research. Peace lily can remove benzene, formaldehyde, xylene and toluene, ammonia, and God, I can't even pronounce this one, trichloroethylene. So this one does particularly well. I've also got a cutting from another spider plant here, and this one's a little bit different from the one over there. This is quite a broad leaf variety, and these 3 just came from a garden centre. But this one here has got a little bit of a story. It was a plant that my granddad was growing in probably the 70s, I'd imagine. And then my mum began to grow from a cutting. Then she gave it to her friend, and I think both my granddad and my mum got rid of the plant, and now it's come back to me. So the spider plant is good for formaldehyde and xylene and toluene, and the red-edged dracania is good for everything apart from ammonia. So what I've done already, just to kind of explain what's going on, is because I'm not a sissy, I went out and just smashed some rocks. It's always good to have a few to put at the bottom of the pot to help with drainage. I popped to the shops as well and bought some trays, and then every single vessel, every single pot that I'm going to use to plump these out, I gave them a good wash. It's kind of good practice. Plants get sick just like we do, so if you kind of keep things clean, there's a good chance that you can reduce the likelihood of that. This one here actually had a very weird alcoholic milk drink that Nathan had made, and it really stank, and we left it outside, so I gave that a really good clean. But it's a nice jar, and provided I can drill a hole in it, I can use it maybe with the spider plant. So the first thing I'm going to do is drill a hole. I'm using this drill bit because the end is carbide. I'm just going to lube it up with a bit of washing up liquid. Well, I managed to break it. I tried to drill another hole in it, and oh well, that was a waste of 20 minutes. I've just got another pot. It's a shame I can't use the glass, but it broke. Shit happens. If you don't really know much about potting, you start with some rubble. So throw a load of this stuff in, a couple inches, and this just helps with drainage. And into this I'm just going to put some general purpose compost, and depending on the type of plants that you're growing, you might want to mix in a bit of sand or God knows what, but I think this will be fine for what I'm doing. Oh, the root system looks good. I'll get a bit more in there. Out of the way. Just give them a bit of a squeeze just to help them break out a bit. You might be thinking why I've got caulking nozzles here, but I'll explain in a bit. A spider plant really doesn't need rooting gel, but I'm going to put some on anyway. Wow, that stuff stinks. Okay, so the reason I have these caulking nozzles here is I am going to use them as drip feed spikes with a bottle. So I bought this one with a decorator's cork out of curiosity to see whether it would fit, and unfortunately it doesn't. It would have been a bit too perfect if this could screw on, but possibly I could modify this. But then they also happen to sell these packets of slightly smaller ones. The hole at the end feels a little bit too large, but I can always screw this on relatively tight, and then drill a hole and hot glue this onto the lid, and this should then allow me to place the bottle into the soil, and the content of the bottle will seep into the soil through some kind of capillary action. Because I'm not in the workshop every day, I do have a job, and you'd be surprised how few days I do here to actually produce the videos that you guys watch. And I don't want to leave this up to anyone else to have to worry about watering them. And I think this should work. So anyway, I'm just going to do this. I really like these bottles. They're for an aloe vera drink that you normally get in the foreign food section in the supermarket. Drink's nice, but the bottle's better. Along with it looking like it's come from the future, you've got these kind of notches which will probably make a good indicator for how much water has gone through the nozzle. Okay, so I've just put someone's doing some work. So I've just put a 0.5mm bit. I'm just going to just going to shove this and this one here. So I actually went and bought a 7-day-a-week timer plug which I can program, and what I'm going to attach to this is my fan, and it's just going to circulate some air so the plants are actually filtering the content of the room as opposed to just the area that they're in. I need to get some more bottles. I really do like these ones, so I'm going to get that size. I might actually get the larger ones because I think they do a 2-litre variety. This one I've left for, I guess it's been about 2 hours, and it's gone down about 2 centimeters. So every hour about 1 centimeter of water from the container drips into the plant pot. Soil is definitely damp and nothing has come out from the bottom yet, so that's a good sign. I think I could probably get away with drilling an even smaller hole. So by having some plants that are capable of filtering certain chemicals out of the air, in combination with a fan which circulates air set on a timer, I'm hoping that this will improve the quality of the crap that I breathe in next to a load of roads and a building site.